How's the gym been?
Mate, hammer time, brother.
I love it how you just go from one extreme of fasting and then...
It's balance.
Yeah.
Life's about balance.
Where did you learn your fasting stuff from?
God, where did it start? I think, like anything, I started off doing the whole paleo thing, then went to the keto thing.
Oh, did you actually do paleo?
Yeah, of course. Well, did I do it? Loosely. No, I remember buying the, what's that book, Rob Wolf's book?
Oh, yeah.
Paleo Solution, maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
I started with that.
You know how I just bought that Ben Greenfield book? Haven't even opened it yet.
Well, it's huge. It's daunting to open that.
Oh, that's what she said.
Where would you start with that book, though?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's done the titles, like I showed you, really well of... he's systemized it, right? As in... Well, how do I say it? As in brain booster, and then like talk around coffee and different things to boost the brain and performance. But yeah, it's like I was talking to a friend, Tom, I think I told you about in New Zealand, and his stuff is for people that are well down the rabbit hole of already integrating health and nutrition and everything into their life.
It's hardcore biohacking.
Yeah. It's like get up in the morning, ground yourself. Yeah.
Stare at the sun.
Yeah, exactly. So for those that are kind of tuning in, Scotty and I go, we've known each other, a year now, right?
Probably.
A year. And throughout this podcast, you'll probably get a lot of banter. So Scotty's from Australia and I'm from New Zealand. So that relationship seems to be a lot of banter and giving each other shit. So while I call him a fat cunt and a bit bloated.
We're the bloke brothers.
Yeah, you'll give it back to me. So, I obviously know almost everything. Well, that's a big statement. I know everything about you.
You know a lot.
Yeah.
You know a lot.
I know your secrets. But yeah, so you're my second guest on the show. And I kind of, as you know, wanted to start this podcast. And even though you say I overthink stuff too much, I'm like, it needs to at least have a theme.
Well, hang on, you also say that about yourself.
Yes, no, I do, yeah. I'm very analytical. So I started off a show a while ago called Interview the Author, which I also had a few on, John DiMartini and stuff. And that kind of fizzled out because I just wasn't consistent with it. So I think this one was easier to kind of do because not only I'm already living in Bali, so the podcast is called Interview the Expat, Bali edition. So a lot of expats living here, and then obviously expats living here have to be some kind of entrepreneur in some way, right? Because you've either got expats that are entrepreneurial, working for themselves, or you've got, expats that have been employed in maybe food and beverage, right, in the industry here. So for people that don't know you, you've obviously come from Aussie, unfortunately. But how did you even end up in Indonesia? So, perhaps going back to your uncle in Jakarta.
So first of all, thanks for having me on. We've talked about this for about 4 months, maybe longer. You finally tied me down. Great to be here. Thank you, Benji.
That's all right.
How did I end up in Indonesia? So, my dearest uncle, I won't mention his name in case I'm incriminating him somehow.
Okay, who, Glenn?
That's him.
Oh, I love it.
He offered me a job. He owns an IT company in Sydney, and he was looking to branch out to Southeast Asia. He did a few trips to, I believe, Jakarta, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Singapore, sussing the whole thing out. Along the travels, ran across a guy who will remain unnamed, who works for an unnamed organisation.
Right.
I'm not going to name it.
I don't actually know who this person is.
Yeah, we don't have to, but he is the commissioner of a company, and his position is appointed by the president, Jokowi. So because of the story about to be told, it will remain unnamed.
Okay. I like how you did that. Like, now there's curiosity, so people are like, I want to listen to this story.
Mate, this is going to go viral, this podcast.
Mate, your marketing advertising skills are on point. Okay, continue.
Came across this guy, and he was offering or talking about his IT services company in Australia and their business model and how it works.
Yeah.
The guy liked the idea of it, was looking for a solution for the company he worked for.
Yeah.
Because apparently the IT was all over the place.
Yeah.
That led to him wanting to set up an office in Jakarta, of all places, Indonesia. He wanted someone he could somewhat trust to go and do it for him, so he offered it to me.
This is your uncle?
Yeah. And it's not every day that you get offered a job overseas. Nice salary.
Is this the job that you went from, you're delivering
Yeah.
gas.
So I went from hospitality to driving a truck out south or west Brisbane towards Toowoomba area.
Yeah.
Which was great because you were doing like the 5 a.m. run in the country.
Yeah.
Sun's coming up. You got your coffee, podcast galore.
Yeah. Doesn't Aussie have fucking weird names for their city? Toowoomba.
Yeah.
Toowoomba.
Sorry, Invercargill.
It sounds like
Invercargill.
You know what it sounds like? Australia's cities sound like the theme songs to The Lion King.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. That could legit be a town in
but
Australia.
you know where it comes from, right? The names. Aborigines.
Yes.
Yeah. So of course they're going to be sounding weird to you.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. New Zealand have all whakatane. I just love saying that city because it's like, especially as a child.
Say it again.
Whakatane.
Whakatane.
Yeah.
Wow. Where is that?
Yeah, I don't know. No idea. Up north.
Okay.
All I know is it's up north. Okay, carry on.
Okay, so where was I?
You're driving trucks?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
So
So
you
he
went from there.
called me one day and he said, "This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Are you interested?" And I said, "Well, I know nothing about IT." And he goes, "I'm sure you can manage people and manage the business." I went, "Done deal. Let's do it."
Yeah.
Fast forward, I think that might have been around May, the phone call. And
May what year, sorry?
2015.
Oh, yeah.
Then he said, "Look, I've got some things in play. If they go well, I'll take you over for a weekend or a few days in the week just to have a look at the place, see if you like it." Never been to Jakarta or Indonesia, actually. And
You've been to Thailand, though, right?
Yeah. Went over for 2 days and he showed me the sights.
I love you smiling. It's funny. So in the room at the moment, we have me and my beautiful guest, and then also my girlfriend who's behind the camera that's also responsible for editing these. And we're about to get into some... I'm sure we'll talk about women in this podcast.
Are we going there?
Yes.
Oh, God.
And we've both lived in Jakarta, so I'm sure we've got some good stories to share about that. So I apologise in advance, Miwa, for some dirty conversation. So he showed you the sites.
Should I be signing some kind of waiver
No,
before this gets released?
No, you're already here.
God.
Okay, so...
So I went there for 2 days, stayed in the hotel.
But why did you only go for 2 days?
It was just a trip to... First of all, we lined up a few interviews with some of the engineers we were going to hire. At the same time, I organised a few offices to look at, office space, met a few people, did that for 2 days, drank too much as usual. Jakarta's like that. Not that you would know.
Not a much of a drinker. Well, considering Scotty's got a Heineken and I've got like a long black,
Aussie Kiwi.
I'm fasting, bro. I'm fasting.
So I spent 2 days. Funnily enough, the hotel we stayed at, the staff there were really friendly, and that was part of what made me go, "Oh yeah, I could live here."
Right.
Just the warmth.
And Thailand's like that though, right?
Yeah, but I've never had that, and it could be the hotel, right? I've never had that kind of everyone being so friendly to you.
Right. They just want your money, bro.
Of course, Southeast Asia. And that hotel, funnily enough, was a hotel I lived at for 1 year when I moved back to Jakarta.
Yeah.
And
that is quite unique. Like, not many people can say, like, I lived in a hotel for a year.
Well, I had a cool. Accommodation allowance, and that budget fit into that hotel.
Yeah. Was it a nice place though? Like, when people think like, when people hear, "Oh, I lived in a hotel for a year," someone's either thinking, "Man, he's a baller," or it was a piece of shit hotel.
It was a 4-star hotel,
right?
But I was living on. They had like the executive floor with a lounge and that kind of shit, a business lounge. That was cool, and they had their own reception up there.
Right.
And they know who you are. They see you every day.
Yeah.
It's like becomes like a family away from home.
Yeah.
Even the staff at the bar and the restaurant, everyone knew you. There was jokes every day.
Yeah.
It's literally like they're your friends away from home.
Yeah.
Now I moved to Jakarta knowing no one.
Yeah, right.
Having never been there except for that 2-day trip.
Yeah.
Had never done business in Jakarta. Had no friends in Jakarta.
Oh man.
Had
if you just know what you know now.
Oh, dude.
You're like, I'm not going.
So it was a huge culture shock, and I think the hotel gave me somewhat of a comfort.
Yeah.
If you like.
Like a home.
Yeah, a home. And so that was in May. October, made the move the last week of October.
Yeah.
We'd already hired one guy to work, and he was starting on the 1st of November.
Yeah.
So I had 1 week to get over there, finalise the office deal, sort out a PC for the guy to work from.
Yeah.
Did that, started with 1 employee, worked our way up to 12 employees. All system engineers, had a couple of admin girls, and I think that was it. Did that for 1 year, I think, or maybe it was 1 year. and I decided to go to Bali for a holiday. First time in Bali. So I made the trip, fell in love with the place, came back, and then Glenn arrived in Jakarta for a catch up.
I thought you were going to name him.
Well, you already named him.
Yeah, they already forgot his name. Yeah.
He arrived, and I convinced him while he was in Jakarta to come to Bali to have a look. And he did, and that led to opening up a second office in Bali.
Yeah.
And I was living in Bali then. I was not going back to Jakarta. I did 1 year in Jakarta.
Yeah.
We can get into what happened in Jakarta, the fun and games. But 1 year living there was hard work. I was sick for half the year, on and off.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. Viruses, digestion issues, bacteria.
Yeah.
You
and Mike could fit into the same boat then.
Yeah,
every time
he had some accidents.
Yeah.
At one stage, I was getting injected with penicillin because the tablets weren't working. That was like every couple of days. So that was hardcore. But yeah, great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you, I'll use this phrase, tap dancer, but you'll have to explain, what is a tap dancer?
Thinking on your feet.
It's funny how you call it thinking on your feet like you just did. Tap
you?
dancer to me is just like last minute sales.
Yes. It's tap dancing is something I learnt from Glenn actually.
Yeah.
It's walking into an office or business meeting or a room, not knowing anything about what you're going to say or how you're going to handle it, and just working it out on the fly.
Yeah.
So
talking about entrepreneurial skills though, that is a skill in itself, which is backed like almost 100% by confidence though.
Yeah,
because there's not many entrepreneurs, business people that could just wing it like that.
Yeah.
Because they have the fear of what's going to happen, right? They have the fear of like they're attached to it.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like both you and Glenn don't have this attachment to the unknown.
No, I don't know if I learnt this from him or we both just have it, but I've seen him do it so many times.
Yeah.
Just basically talking shit.
Yeah.
And making it sound like it's genuine.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, he'll be watching this. He'll be like, "Thanks, guys."
And
Thanks
it works.
For throwing me in the deep.
But it works.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I had a guy working for me here for McRobin.
Yeah.
Who would watch me do it.
Yeah. And
start doing it too. And he used to say to me, "Boss, I'm just tap dancing.
Right.
And it worked for him too. So I think it's a...
Yeah. But I guess you still got to know either some of the product or service, obviously, that you're talking about, right? But it is thinking on your feet. It's the natural ability to talk and build rapport and have a conversation, right? And whereas you'll get some people get into even sales and read a book.
Yes, yeah.
And they'll be like, it has to be the structure. Like first we need to build rapport, and then we need to do this, identify a problem.
Right.
Whereas, rapport is mainly the biggest one.
Yeah. And in my very short business career, I don't believe, could get some backlash for this, I don't believe in the sales process.
Yeah, right. Oh, did you hear that?
For all
this
you
guy who owns a real estate company doesn't believe in the sales process.
For all you entrepreneurs,
that's why you're not growing, bro.
No, it's seriously, I think it's about relationship. That's it.
Yeah.
Once you have a relationship with someone, and if you're genuinely interested in them, you're not faking it.
Yeah.
And you genuinely ask questions and you want to learn about them. But
it's still got to go through a sales. What's the sales process? What do you think a sales process is?
What I mean is the classic. Like you said, you must build rapport, then lead to this thing, then lead to this thing. Maybe there is a process, but I believe.
When I think sales process, I think like, okay, you've met for the initial meeting, then you've shown them product, then it's follow up.
Of course, that But I'm talking about the people that sell a sales course.
Yeah.
And it's step by step by step.
Yeah.
One thing must lead to another thing, must lead to another thing. Maybe that does work, but in my experience, being genuinely interested in someone that you're talking to,
of course,
goes a long way.
Of course.
Yeah.
So before we jump into like debauchery,
we are all over the place, aren't we?
That's right. So if going back to Jakarta, like what's your, because I know my one, what's your funniest story that you have from Jakarta business wise?
Well, we're going back, okay.
Because I probably won't know it, because I don't know many of these.
I don't know if it's a funny story, but we can go...
horrific, or...
Well, we can go back to the unnamed gentleman for the unnamed company. So I was left in Jakarta, and part of my role there was to be friends with this guy and, once again, build rapport, build relationship, and keep him happy with what we were doing.
Yeah.
Now, we had offered him...
What were you helping him with?
So they had an internal IT team.
Yeah.
And it was all over the place.
Right.
And they were looking to outsource it all to an outsourcing company.
But what was the actual, like, is it a bank? Was it a...
It can't be...
Oh, how many banks are there in Jakarta, man?
I'm not even going to
What
go
industry
there.
then?
I'm not
Finance?
even going to... Yeah, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
let's
finance.
say it's huge.
It's BCA. No, I'm just kidding.
One of the biggest organizations in Indonesia.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how Glenn found the guy.
Yeah.
But it was in motion.
You know how you found him? Through tap dancing.
Tap dancing. Oh, no shit.
Sorry, Kieran.
And then Glenn's partner, who will go unnamed, Gary Irwin, he and Glenn had offered this guy a share in our company, in the Indonesian company, to help get the whole deal across the line.
Yeah.
Right? Silent partner, profit share, whatever it was, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So part of my role was to go and meet with him every couple of weeks, have a coffee in his fucking 100 square meter office with cigar lounges, his own TV, bathroom, shower, view over Jakarta.
Right.
It was quite a pimp.
Yeah.
And he was obviously
What tower was it? Oh, you probably can't say.
I cannot say. That'll give it away.
It must be in Central, though.
That'll give it away. He was a very well respected guy.
Yeah.
And I did my research on him too, and I googled him basically.
Yeah. Well, everything on Google is true, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you could see that he was a very well respected guy in Indonesian business.
Yeah.
Jakarta business.
Yeah.
So fast forward a few months, Glenn, Gary, and another guy, John, came over and did a presentation in their boardroom to 20 staff or 20 people, managers, whoever they were. Everything was going well. It was all going ahead. It came down to the 11th hour where Glenn and Gary were flying back to actually get the contract signed, deal done. And we're talking millions of dollars contract. Multi-million dollars, Indonesia-wide.
Dollars, not rupiah.
Dollars.
Yeah.
Dollars. And at the 11th hour, this unnamed gentleman from the unnamed organization demanded $50,000 cash.
Right.
To get the deal done.
Right.
Glenn basically said, fuck off, get the deal done, and I'll pay you the $50,000.
Yeah.
So it fell apart in the last minute, and no one was going to give an inch.
Right.
So we presumed it was a case of white guys are in town.
Yeah.
Foreigners are in town, let's say that. This could be an easy target.
Yeah.
Get a bit of cash.
Yeah.
Not sure. Either way, that fell apart. And in the meantime, during that whole negotiation, we built a team of 12 guys who were working with our Australian customers, getting used to the business model. So when this deal came through, they would shift straight across to this big deal. And because they were working pretty well, when that deal fell through, we kept them on and operated as the outsourced office in Indonesia. Had two offices, Bali and Jakarta. But both were working.
Did you actually have one in Bali?
Yeah.
Oh.
Most of the staff moved to Bali from Jakarta
right.
because it's just the lifestyle.
Yeah.
A few of them couldn't, so we kept the Jakarta office open.
Yeah.
Plus the business was registered in Jakarta, so we had to stay there anyway. That went on for another year when I was in Bali. Maybe more than that, actually, maybe 2 years. It started to fall apart because the senior team, technical team in Australia, could see the writing on the wall, and that was they were losing their staff and we were gaining more staff in Indonesia. So I think they got a bit worried and could see
lose their jobs.
Well, becoming not required anymore.
Yeah.
And because of that, made it life very hard for the guys in Indonesia, whether that be not giving them enough work to do to keep busy. And as you know, with Glenn, everything's recorded, statistics, ticket time, cost per ticket, cost per engineer, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So it started to go to the point where he was pushing them to move to Indonesia, and the senior guys wouldn't do that. So it started to get a bit contentious.
Like
political, very political.
You should have just gone to Glenn Black, right, Glenn? I want to run a meritocracy in here. and then ask him how long his runway is.
So in avatars.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Avatars. In the meantime, I started dating a girl in Bali who was working in real estate. Yeah. And she had just resigned.
I didn't actually know this.
Yeah. So she had just resigned from one of the biggest companies here. Yeah. And was doing the freelance thing. And I could see that she was struggling in the sense that not having a business or a flag or a business card or an email address or a website, and most importantly, a business bank account, was making things difficult because when it comes time for a customer to send a deposit and you're giving your personal bank account and saying, send a deposit here, you can imagine how it looks. Yeah. So I helped her set up her agency, and was still working for Glenn. God, I don't know how many months that was. Maybe for a year, actually. And I was helping her a little bit with the whole setup and just the website and that kind of shit, some basic marketing, and trying to put some business flows into place, so how to handle clients properly and follow up, etc., etc. Then I could see the writing on the wall, because the political game was still going on, and Indonesia was losing the game, and I could see that the office over here would become not required anymore. And also, something did happen. They hired a really smart guy in Australia who went through and audited nearly every customer, and found out that the tickets being generated from each customer were not real tickets, and most of them could be deleted. So the workload went from huge.
How are they fake tickets?
It's an automated system, and the system was generating tickets based on alerts.
Right? So like a bug in the system.
But yeah, basically, like you can set it up so it will say, if the hard drive gets to 80% full, create a ticket.
Yeah, right.
You know, low, not critical, but it still creates a ticket, and that adds to the workload. Right? And tickets are allocated to engineers, and they work through them. So he went around and fixed all the shit that we suspect the older guys knew was there anyway, but was making them look busy. So leave it there.
Gotcha.
You know.
So you're like, oh man, I might be out of a job.
I could see the writing on the wall this time.
Right.
And I'd had a few not so good experiences with real estate companies here in Bali. And I just.
So why were you dealing with real estate companies in the first place?
Just renting a villa.
Oh, right.
When I first moved here.
Right. So you rented a villa when you came here, not a cost.
Stupid big 4-bedroom villa in Seminyak, which.
Why stupid, bro?
Because first of all, when I moved here to Bali, I didn't know Seminyak from Kuta, from Canggu, from I knew nothing, right?
Yeah.
All I knew was this is central. Yeah. I can walk everywhere. Yeah. I don't need a bike. Yeah. And I thought I would start there for 6 months. Yeah. See how it goes and learn a few places. Yeah. And I quickly got the fuck out of Seminyak. Yeah.
Okay, at least we'll quickly put it on a pause, because anyone that's listening to this, it's like, one doesn't know where Indonesia is in the world. It's about a stone throw away from what? Malaysia, Singapore.
Australia.
But apart from that, Bali. So you've got the main, because I didn't know this as well when I came to here. I'm like, where do I live? So you've basically got, Jimbaran, we won't mention. No one lives in Jimbaran. You got Seminyak, Kuta, Kirabakan, I guess. Canggu.
Umalas, Barella.
Yeah.
Where we are now.
Yeah. So we're in Barawa now.
Yeah.
So, but some of them kind of mold together. So what kind of person, expat, tourism, whatever.
God, this is dangerous, Brent.
Live in Kuta, Seminyak.
This is dangerous. So.
Well, they're basically the same, right? Kuta, Seminyak are basically the same area.
But Kuta's also the main tourist destination still. Yeah. So a lot of Australians travel in Kuta. Yeah. For better or for worse.
Yeah. A lot of Aussies.
Lots of Kiwis too. Yeah. Kuta seems to be the place people stay when it's their first time in Bali. Yeah. It's the most advertised, of course,
overseas, right? Yeah.
And Kuta gets a bad rap, but I've had plenty of good days down there. Night times I try and avoid the place.
Yeah. Kuta's like beach walk, right?
Yeah. But it's like there's nice beaches. Yeah. Plenty of places you can go.
Double Six Beach?
Double Six is Seminyak.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the southern part of Seminyak. Seminyak is probably for people coming back for their second time, right? I would say. Yeah. Who don't want to be in the hustle and bustle of Kuta. Although Seminyak, you could argue, is pretty close to Kuta these days. Yeah. A bit more, I don't know, upper class. Yeah. Yeah. A bit more boutique
Seminyak
stores.
is like where Mike stayed. That's Seminyak. Where'd he stay?
Ultimo. La Favela.
Oh yeah.
That's Seminyak.
La Favela.
But that's Oberoi Seminyak. Yeah, and also down Double Six Beach is still Seminyak too. Yeah. So all through Drupadi. Yeah. You know.
And then who lives in Canggu?
The top knots.
The top
knots.
If you don't know what a top knot is, just Google
man bun.
Yeah, man bun.
Now Canggu's more of the hipster crowd. Lots of surfers too. Yeah. It's more of a laid back kind of village feel.
I think like Canggu's the gateway drug to Ubud.
Possibly, yeah.
Right?
Possibly.
It's like the next step. But Ubud's nice. I was driving through there with Miwa actually, a month ago? When Corona was hitting here, and it was dead, man. Like, Absolutely dead.
Where in Bali is not dead at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. No, I don't know. Like, I guess you can drive through still, but Canggu, it's dead. But you still definitely get a massive like expat vibe. Like cafes, like that are still open, still have plenty of expats, right? Okay, good little tangent.
Well, my office is in Barawa, and on the occasion I've driven down to Seminyak for work or personal, it's dead. Like completely dead. Even around Barawa, like you said, there's cafes open, there's bikes driving around.
Yeah.
I went up for a drive to Canggu through Batu Belong, which for the listeners is the most busiest part of Canggu, and even that was dead. And it doesn't help when the fucking beaches are closed.
Yeah. Well, beaches are now open though.
Yeah, as of today, I think, or the 5th. What day is today?
What is the beaches open? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we can touch on that because me and you both go to the same gym in Karabakan, which is a tiny box.
My gains are way bigger, by the way.
Which
this is actually a good segue into training.
Your stomach gain.
So Scott trains by volume through tracking an app. Like, my leg volume was high today. I'm like, bro, do a split. So this is actually
I definitely don't do bro splits. I do full body training.
So what's a bro split? This is good because we almost both come from a personal training background. So let's
a bro split. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is like chest on Monday, back on Wednesday, legs on Friday. Friday's always squat day.
Okay, so even if that was true, what is wrong with that?
Nothing.
And so why is it called a bro split? Because you're gonna be a bro.
Look, if you have the time and you like going to the gym, fine. I can get on board.
Bro, you go like 4 times
I
a week.
I like to get in and out as quick as possible. I don't like being in the gym.
Yeah.
I like the benefits of the gym.
Yeah.
But I hate being at the gym.
Really?
I hate seeing guys looking at their, like turning around and doing the flex into the mirror. Just get in there and do your shit.
Where do you do that in your life? Own that trait.
At the gym. At the gym.
Oh, man.
No,
but for me, they've oversold that membership though.
So when I got into the whole, we skipped past this whole thing, the whole paleo thing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I also found a book called Body by Science.
Oh, yeah.
Who wrote that again? Doug McGuff. It's actually a good read.
Yeah.
Right. And
is it a hard read?
No, very easy.
Right.
But their whole theory is, I think it was from an old guy called Mike Metzler or something.
Right.
Some bodybuilding guy I don't know much about.
Yeah.
But it's all one session a week, very, very high intensity, full body training, and then give your body 7 days to recover. Minimum.
Right.
And then stimulate it again. It's about making the stimulus as intense as possible, which triggers the adaptation, and then allowing time for the adaptation to happen.
See, this is hard because even coming from when I was a personal trainer, it's great that there's people out there that do like train like this, eat like this, but the more you study and like look at the human body and everything that goes on, and then you've got like the behavioral side of it, right, which is the side that I love. It's so complex, so it's so hard to be like, yeah, this diet will work or this will work, or it's like try it and then take parts that you like. But in my mind, no training or diet plan will work at all. Again, when it comes back down to then values, right? If you don't value...
Here we go, tangents.
Yeah, it's human behavior. So that's where I kind of stand on it. But I'm so glad you brought that up. Adherence. But you now, I mean, you've known me long enough now to know like the easiest way around there, right? With the whole values.
Yes, of course. Most people don't know that.
Yeah. But this is what I find so interesting. What was I was literally transcribing one of John's webinars this morning around self-doubt to self-belief or something. And I was just like, man, there would be so many industries that would just be ruined if his stuff got applied in certain ways, because like you've got diets that sell, quick fixes, training methods, sales gimmick in every industry, right?
But yeah, I get.
But anyway,
I get what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But
so going back to why you like it,
if you can get, and
I mean, what's the best bang for your buck?
But that's what I mean. The whole thing about this was, and you can find Ben Greenfield doing videos on this kind of training and talking about Doug McGuff.
Right.
The benefit is 15 minutes, 20 minutes a week, once a week, anyone can find that time. And doing something's better than doing nothing.
Yeah. So I mean,
not everyone can. It
just becomes a vague conversation, right? Because then someone goes, let's just say that's accurate, right? Then it's bang on. Then someone goes into that theory and that methodology, going, cool, I'm going to do the least for the most. Therefore, they're already going into it with unrealistic expectations.
Right.
And if someone goes into it with unrealistic expectations, that's also, it doesn't help adherence.
Yeah, of course. And another big thing about this whole methodology was less injury, less overuse, less wear and tear, and especially as you get older.
Yeah. One thing that Ben does go on about saying, like, yes, you don't need to put yourself through the typical, like, you call it bro split, whatever, just gym thrashing your body to get effect. But I think, like, I go to the gym mostly, just stay real sexy, obviously, but like
failed.
Failed. But more for like the release and like to almost like finish my day. Yeah. Like finish my day, I go to the gym. Like I've tried working out in the morning that I can't operate my day the same.
Right.
But it's not so much for I have a strength goal or if I have this goal, it's like.
But for me, it's okay. So that when Ben goes into this kind of training, he's talking about longevity. Yeah. Right? And as you age, if you can do anything to keep lean body mass, it's better for your health. Yeah. I'm no expert on this shit, but that's what he says. Yeah. I can tell you. I can tell you that I was back when I was doing personal training. I was training clients that way, including my housemate, myself. Yeah. And the gains in strength. Yeah. Measured by not reps, but by the weight and time under tension with a stopwatch. Yeah. Increased dramatically every week. Yeah. Especially in the initial phases, as it always does. Yeah. I was training my 80-year-old grandmother the exact same way, and it's 5 movements: chest press, shoulder press, lat pull down, seated row, leg press. Yeah. She was leg pressing at 200 kilograms for like 90 seconds. Yeah. Right. And people would comment to her and say, look, you look amazing. You're standing upright. You've got bigger back. And if someone at 80 years old can get a benefit like that from working out 15 minutes a week, why not? Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But that goes back to the whole... it all comes back to the whole adage of like, what's your goal?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And and you know, I have a joke with my mate Tom back in New Zealand about this, because like if everyone just started by drinking more water, right, and reduced processed sugars, but again for me, I just always take it back to behavior. So it's like that's the default, which is kind of a whole other conversation.
We talk about your excessive pizza consumption.
I do like pizza.
You do. Impulsive behavior, we could say.
Impulsive, yeah. I haven't had pizza, maybe 1 week, I think. I don't know.
By the way, shameless plug, if you're in Bali, we both highly recommend a place called Scratch Pizza, owned by our friend Aaron.
I think we have to send Aaron this podcast.
We're going to have to. Free pizza, brother.
At least one. He's just opened...
Killer Burgers. Another free plug.
Yeah. But they're not open on Grab or anything yet.
Not yet.
No,
I'm looking forward to trying that, because I used to frequent his original Scratch restaurant. I'm a Scratch OG. Yeah. And the burgers he used to do were banging. Right. Yeah. He did this chicken sandwich burger called In the Club. And he's bought it back for Killer Burgers. Yeah. It's different name, slightly different, but he reckons it's almost as good. So looking forward to it.
So apart from just our value of good yarns,
1 free pizza a month, Aaron.
Yeah. Like so I asked you, like, what's one horrific story that you had?
Well, that was the story. Yeah, getting so close to a multi-million-dollar contract. Yeah. And having it fall through because we didn't understand Indonesian business culture.
I told you about my one of nearly being extorted by the police, right?
I'm not surprised.
But I told you that story? No. I'm sure I did, didn't I?
Maybe.
So this is I came to Jakarta.
By the way, I want to interrupt you. I want to go back to this story and say, look, I don't think it's good or bad that happened. Yeah. If we had understood that from the start, then we play by the rules. Yeah. Right. It's just when you come in not knowing it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have given them $50,000, whether you knew that or not.
Probably not. But at least we would have been prepared for, okay, this is going to happen at the last minute.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
Yeah.
And in a way, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
If that's how it works, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And if that gets you the deal, it gets you the deal.
In itself, isn't that extortion?
A little bit, but I mean, we tried to sell the services in Jakarta to companies. Yeah. And what we quickly found and were told by local people was, it doesn't matter what your service or product is. Right. It's how much are you going to look after the guy making the decisions.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like this is a whole other conversation itself, but that's how business is done.
But that's just how it's done. Yeah. So you either play ball or get the fuck out.
This is like how I complained to Miwa about like, oh, this happens and this happens. She's like, well, go home then.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well said, Miwa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Yeah. I mean, yeah, and fair point. You know, that every country's going to have their shit. But when I came to Jakarta, that was based off network marketing. And
you were part of the USANA crew, weren't you?
Yeah. And as we know, in network marketing, there's different business models, but you don't get, like, you get to sign someone up as a business or a product, whatever, but it's on points, right? So you have to get both legs, I won't go into the business model of it, but anyway, it's not like you sign someone up on a real estate or whatever and you get paid a good money, or I sign someone as a marketing client, get paid, lump sum. So anyway, I'd heard that my company was growing really fast in Medan, which is like up way north of Indonesia, right? And basically because of like Chinese Indonesian typically being a lot more like business driven and entrepreneurial than just normal Indonesians, say. And whether it's a stereotype or not, that's just been my experience. So I was like, sweet, well, I'll go to Medan. Didn't know, a bit like you coming to Jakarta, didn't know anyone. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to set up some kind of appointment. So up to that point, I was like, use LinkedIn, right? So I grew my LinkedIn to something like 10,000 connections through simple, like hard of like connecting with hundreds a day, or 150 a day. And so I managed to like book 11 appointments and through LinkedIn of people living in Medan, and it was at Sun Plaza and Starbucks the first day I arrived, and I walked into the mall and it's like they had seen some alien because there was absolutely almost no expats living in Medan. I walk in, I'm like, man, like I need to go look in the mirror because like, do I have something on my face? Or it's the weirdest experience. Kind of, I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but
no, not here.
Just so weird, like just being stared at constantly because I had to walk through the whole mall to get to Starbucks. Anyway, the whole day, first day, I think signed two distributors, and anyway, so long story short, nearly got sorted. How I held a presentation at a yoga clinic.
You did tell me this, yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, yoga clinic, and someone had put the presentation, like the flyer that I kind of put together on Instagram.
Yeah,
and whether it was a competitor of another nutritional company or whatever. Must have seen this, and at the presentation there's only like 5 people that showed up anyway. It was pretty poorly promoted, and like the last 5 minutes there was like 4 or 5 guys that walk in just casual clothes. I'm like, oh sweet, got more guests. And then by the end of it we finished, and they walk up to my display table where I had this nutritional product just sitting there and start putting this product into their bag, and I'm like, they spoke like almost no English, I almost spoke no Bahasa. Lucky I had another distributor there because she was translating for me. And turns out they were like undercover police.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And like, as soon as I hear that, in my mind, I just go back to like watching TV shows and movies. Like,
banged up abroad.
Yeah. Like I'm going to end up in the prison. So anyway, they're like, oh, you got to come back to the police station. And I'm like, okay. So I go back there, and knowing what I know now, they're basically just trying to find a way to like, get money out of me, right? So in Indonesia, for anyone that doesn't know, like for a nutritional product, you have to have what's like BPOM, which is their regulation, I guess, of that it's legit, whatever. And USANA being a massive $1 billion global company, of course they've gone through and done legit, right? But me and my distributor were sitting there for like 3 hours, wondering like what's going to happen, threatening us.
It's the unknown, right?
I'm ringing the GM of Indonesia, be like, what's going on? I'm ringing Mike.
Yeah.
Man, and I was so grateful to kind of get out there like unscathed.
What happened in the end?
They're like, oh yeah, it's shown up on our system that it has BPOM, blah blah blah. But like, man, what an I was like, just thinking of the worst.
Yeah,
but that's probably my craziest.
No, but you do.
Craziest story.
You freak out. You don't know.
You just don't know, and I didn't know anyone there, right? But like, you come to Jakarta, I knew no one when I came to Medan.
Yeah. No, it's freaky.
But again, good growth stories, good learning stories, you know.
Yeah, like the year in Jakarta was very difficult at times, but the growth personally is huge.
Yeah.
Just moving to somewhere that you don't know anyone, never been, and trying to set up a company, hire staff, work out how they do business. Also a funny thing.
Well, it's exciting, but I think what makes it more appealing, wrongly or rightly, is that you go into it so naive.
Yeah.
If you knew what you know now, like, would you do it again? Like, I'm not so sure.
Learn by doing, right? And you figure out things like in Australia, if your staff need to kick up the ass, you give them a kick up the ass. But if you do that to someone in Indonesia who works for you, they will retract into their shell, lose face, and not respond the way you want them to respond.
Yeah.
So you've got to approach things completely different.
Yeah.
But once again, you learn it the hard way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a little bit arrogant because you're coming into another country trying to bring
your communication standards and skills.
And your business principles, how you do business.
Yeah. But most of the West naturally, I think, fall into the category of, I don't know necessarily Europe, but like direct, right? Like this is what I've got. This is how I can help. Or even if you're truly trying to help someone like this. But what happened was over there, and that's what I guess happened to your guy, is I had a lot of business deals that would get to like, signing off the contract or something, signing up as a distributor or whatever. And then they'd be like, nah, I've changed my mind. Or my wife said no. Or, which you get in the West, but like, I wish you told me that, like, that you weren't serious from the start.
It's like they don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
Which
losing face.
But which is also why they're so nice. On the other side, they're friendly, helpful, nice, lovely, right? They're trying to please you all the time.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. But I would have situations like the guys doing the job they were doing in the IT company had to at times think for themselves, right? And be a bit creative. But they were always cautious about hanging their head out in fear of making a mistake, because they thought they would lose face to their colleagues, to me, the company. And I'd encourage them and say, just have a shot. I don't care if you fuck it up and fail. We will both learn from what you did wrong and apply that next time. Yeah. Which makes perfect sense to me, logically. But with them, there's a whole other layer of stuff built in there.
Could you imagine Elon Musk building a company in Indonesia?
Yeah.
He literally has like policies in the company, I guess in Tesla or SpaceX, being like, you literally get rewarded for making a mistake and then owning up for it. If you don't, you get punished, and if not, fired. That's good luck trying to employ that in Indonesia.
Because like what sometimes they would do, that you go, here's a task, here's how you do that. Questions. Like, no, you understand it. Okay, if you get stuck or you have trouble, come back and see me, we'll work it out together. And they would get stuck, but be too scared to come and tell you that they were stuck. And at stages I was pulling my hair out going, I've told you it's okay. You're not going to be in trouble. We learn by making mistakes.
But this is when it becomes also, it's like...
But you're fighting against years and years and years of culture. Which makes it hard.
Indoctrination from the start.
Exactly.
And then Jakarta's different to Bali because you got more Muslim indoctrination in Jakarta.
Learning process, brother. Learning process.
Like I said, it's another conversation by itself.
Episode 2.
Yeah. So, back to the training. So, but like, how is your training going though? Like, so you're doing this one training a week?
It's I wish wash, right? I'll start doing something like I was doing the...
Come for some consulting, bro. We'll get those up in your values.
I've seen the pussy things you do in the gym.
I'm gaining. I went from a 1RM of like 105, I think it was, maybe 110 bench, to now it's 137.
Which means you're getting stronger, which means you're putting on muscle, which means you're in a calorie surplus because of all the fucking pizza you eat from Scratch Pizza.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this also comes back down to like goals, right? I can't remember the app that I use. I think it's called like Windows Strength, whatever. And because of my knee, I don't do the deadlift or squat, 5-3-1. But I do it for military press. Hey, shout out military press.
Okay, 1980s.
Yeah, and then also bench press. So it's nice to be able to, like, because you follow that, and then after you do your strength, then you just go into a split workout, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just find it. I don't need to hear. The only thing I follow is like, I know that it's like if I'm going to work out my training, I base it off how many times I'm wanting to go a week. So if I want to go, I like going 5. Then I just reverse engineer it to like, if I go 5, that's a lot of volume. I'd better split it up. That's why your method wouldn't work for me.
But the whole 1 time a week thing only works if you have a trainer or a training partner that can push you past a point of failure.
You'd have to really fuck yourself.
Or you have to go deep into failure and past and beyond what you think you can do.
So what's your excuse then? Because you don't have it either.
No, that's why I just do it more often.
Oh, right.
I don't do it once a week. I do it 2 or 3.
Right.
Whenever I feel okay.
Right.
But I do 1 set of each exercise. 5 or 6 things. And I do that to the point I can't do anymore. And then do the negative as slow as possible. That's it. On to the next one. Now back to that book I was reading. Mind you, this is 10 years ago, so it could be well outdated by now. But when they were referencing studies, they were saying 1 set to failure is not better or worse than 3 sets of 10 per se.
Yeah.
But the results were the same.
Is the stimulus not more?
So if you can get the same results, this is their argument. If you can get the same benefits and strength increases from doing less work, less injury, less wear and tear, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
That was their theory. Not saying one was better than the other.
Yeah.
But if you can go 1 set to failure, as opposed to doing 3 sets of 10 or 12, whatever you do, why would you not do that?
Yeah. See, and like, again, in my mind, this only becomes a relevant conversation. Like when I used to have clients, and I used to be impatient when I was really wanting a result as well, so I can understand. But when I used to have clients in the gym, I'd be like, okay, let's just do one thing at a time. Because if I'm like, you're trying to get someone to go from not drinking enough water, eating the wrong foods, not exercising, and I've talked about this a lot within human behavior, to then going the fully opposite. And so they go out and they're like, they create a podcast, an audio track to train at the gym. They spend more time getting ready for the fucking gym than in the gym. And it's just too much, right? Too overwhelming. So then it's like, okay, well, let's just start with, you're going to get to the gym once this week and hydrating. Like hydration's your first goal. Yeah. If you can't do that for a week consecutively or, 7 days, then how can you possibly implement then a new eating regime, let alone workout regime, right? So I think any training methodology has merit, but it's so like, it's like, is it relevant if you can't do the other shit?
So a big problem I used to have with clients, even myself, was understanding how important diet was, because you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet no matter what you do.
Yeah, it was like the whole 24 hours in a day, 8 hours sleep, 1 hour training, 2 hours training, and then you got 16 hours to fucking...
But when it came down to training, my whole attitude has always been, anything's better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just do something. Yeah. Walk around the block 4 times.
Yeah, for sure.
But as you know, with me, I can go to the gym consistently for 3 months, then I can drink beer consistently for 3 months. And swing back and forth. So
again, goal. Like, well, but like, you know why I go to the gym then? Why do you go to the gym?
Because I know I feel better when I do. Like, once again, I know if I want to be ripped, it's about diet, not about the gym.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel better.
But you do these fasts, and I must what's the word? Let's just say congratulate you, because I reckon the hardest part of getting into fasting is after, maybe including your sleep, maybe after the 18th hour, when you're really like, you're starting to almost feel nauseous, you're hungry.
You go through peaks and valleys, right? Because you get points where you are hungry, but when you get through those points...
I reckon when it's the first one, I reckon it's the hardest one to get past, because it feels quite uncomfortable, right? And you're really hungry. But after you've had the first one, you can kind of like welcome it, because you know you've gone past that one. So you do well with that. You'll do like, what, 38 hours?
I'll tell you how I started doing that though. I was doing the pussy 16-8 fast, intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And that was consistently and easy.
Yeah.
And I lost a bunch of weight doing that. Going to the gym every couple of days. And one day I just forgot to eat lunch.
Yeah.
And it came to about 18 hours.
Yeah.
And I was feeling good. I thought, fuck, I better eat before I go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I had something to eat and it felt like shit after I ate.
Yeah.
Like I just died in the ass. So I'm like, what the fuck did I eat for? Then the very next day, I thought, I'm going to go 20 hours. Yeah. I just did 18 without thinking about it.
Yeah.
By mistake.
Yeah.
I should be able to do 20 easily.
Yeah.
And I did 20 easily.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And then I went to the gym.
Yeah.
And I was a bit scared going to the gym.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to pass out of a fucking heart attack.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
2 years maybe.
Right.
But that thought was completely fear-based. I just thought, I haven't eaten anything all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and do an intense workout.
Yeah.
Lifting heavy weights.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Yeah.
And I think I started doing something easy like dips or something, some body weight stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt really like energized, feeling good. Like, this is fucking insane. Then I went through a whole session and energy levels were as good, if not better, than if I was eating all day before I went to the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, there's something to this. Then went home and ate, felt like shit.
Yeah.
Something's going on here.
What did you break the fast with though?
Oh, God knows. Anything.
Yeah, like, again, this is it's just like, I mean, it's great that you had that experience, but this is the shit thing again. Like, it's like, so much things get taken out of context. It's like, what was your, because you know how I haven't been doing it as well, or haven't actually been doing it. You know how I had that tracking sheet? I was tracking like so many different shit.
Yes, Benji.
And then I was like, down to the state, even like I was tracking like mindset and how I was feeling. And there was a couple of days where I'm like, okay, this is the thread. But for sure, the biggest thing in my mind, I reckon it'd be for others, is I've had days where food has been shit, sleep has been bad, hydration's not so good, but my mindset for whatever reason or like behavior was on point, whether it's like I was living high according to my values or whatever, right? And my energy was good because of that. I've gone so many days to see that occur on and off of like, that's been off, but my mindset's on, but energy's good. So that's when you're telling your story of like, 18 hours and the next day I could go 20. But, and again, depends if you're an emotional eater or if you're associated with food. Would that day have been easier of 20 hours if something shit happened in the morning? You're like, oh, fuck, I'll have a pie. Yeah,
not for me. I don't do that. For me, I don't turn to food when shit gets stressful.
Yeah.
I find if I'm committing to a fast, I'm committing to a fast. Even though it can get difficult when your girlfriend's cooking you beautiful food at home. Yeah. You're definitely breaking your fast. Yeah. But I went from that 24 hour thing, and then I thought, I think it was a few days later, I went, I'm going to go a full day, like 24 hours. Yeah. I'll finish at 8 o'clock one night, eat dinner at 8 o'clock the next night. Yeah. I got to 8 o'clock and I was feeling so good by that stage. Yeah. I got past the hunger pains. Yeah. And I got 24 hours. I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to go to bed. Yeah. See if I can get to sleep. Yeah. And even that was I was a bit anxious about it, just because it was untested waters for me. Yeah, yeah. But I got to sleep, woke up the next morning, and I was fucking firing. Like mental clarity, energy, not bogged down, didn't even need a coffee, had a coffee, and that caffeine just went next level. Yeah. And
wait, how many hours were you at then by then?
36.
So were you already in the stage of, is it autophagy?
32-ish, maybe.
When does autophagy start kicking in?
No idea. But I was definitely in ketosis. Right. Because I was firing. Like, the mental clarity was insane.
Well, you assume you're in ketosis because that's how you're feeling.
Well, yeah. But they say the reason if you fast for that kind of time, why you do feel like you're on point, right, is because of evolution. You are now hunting for food now. Your body now needs food, so you're firing. Let's go.
Right. Kicking in. Yeah.
We've got to find something now.
Yeah. Because usually the people struggle to make the transition from burning or being glucose fueled to ketosis because it's a total different energy system. And it's making that transition. Yeah. Hence why you need Prove It. Did you ever use that though? Have you ever used any keto supplements?
No, it was only because I found this guy online called Cole Robinson. It's called the Snake Diet. Have you heard of the guy? No. He's aggressive, and he swears when he talks to you on the video, and he yells most of the time. Yeah. But it's all about fasting. He goes, stop being a fucking bitch. Just fucking fast until you fast to your bone, and then put the weight back on, because your body's drawing from your stored fat. Yeah. You can survive. Yeah. He does like 7-day dry fast with no water. Really? Because your body pulls the water from the fat cells. Blah blah blah. Anyway, check him out. Snake Diet. Right. He's insane. But again, I resonate with his messaging because he doesn't. It's not that cookie cutter fitness guy on YouTube. You know, that's buffed up on steroids, talking shit. They all sound the same to me. He's just direct and aggressive.
Yeah, that's also your personality.
Exactly. But all he advocates is electrolytes, salt, potassium, water. Yeah. That's it. Go as long as you can. If you're hungry, do a small refeed and then fast longer. You can check out his Instagram page too, Snake Diet Wizard. People posting up their before and after photos. Right. Talking about their fasting methodology, what hours they did, 48, 72, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, very effective. And the longest I've done is 72. Felt the last 12 were a bit hard, but I could have done things to make it easier.
Is that, I think if it's like if people are more organized, if they're going to try and do this whole like either fasting or keto, like do it properly. Otherwise you can do it half-assed. Like you're gonna set yourself up, and then you're gonna have a self-defeating cycle. And I won't even go off on that tangent, but I have worked out before and using keto supplements, and I was using Prove It, which is one of the main ones on the market.
Did you shit yourself?
No. Okay. No. Oh,
I've heard horrible stories.
Oh yeah, no, I have had a couple of like it went straight through me kind of thing. Yeah. But one of the, so I was at the gym. I was on the Stairmaster of all things. Love the Stairmaster. And
not surprised.
I was like a half an hour into the cardio, and I was just like, I was about to get, doing like a half an hour. I can't remember if I was warming up or I was finishing. I think I was finishing, I think I ended up going for like an hour, hour and a half.
Were you
feeling amazing.
Were you doing a keto diet when you did that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're already into the whole process.
I was already started, yeah, but using these supplements as well, the powder.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we've jumped around a few things.
Fucking hell.
Which is good.
All over the place.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll jump on another one. So we didn't get into the debauchery, which is fine. We'll leave that for the next one.
Yes.
Keep the listeners hanging on.
Same time next week, guys.
Yeah. But again, in all seriousness, I wanted to interview people I thought were interesting, expats living here. Like, you know, if you go to the website, it's like be a fly on the wall of how people got here, why they chose Bali.
Right.
So we already know why you chose Bali. That was the default because of where you were before. So you've now moved into property, and you have a real estate company, McRobin Property. So how did you actually make that transition? So you wouldn't finish the story of like what Glenn shut down the other company, or?
Right. So it was heading that way.
Yeah.
Like I said, what was happening, and I'd helped my girlfriend at the time set up her company, the real estate agency, which was going okay, but I could see needed someone to take control of it somewhat. And I was back in Australia for Christmas, I believe, and I went to visit Glenn. He was staying in Byron Bay at the time.
Mm.
And
Is it
because
Sydney?
I could see,
Sydney, right?
No, New South Wales, south
Right.
of the Gold Coast.
Right.
Beautiful little country beach town. And because I didn't want to leave Indonesia, and I was loving living in Bali,
Yeah.
I convinced him, and
This is where your tap dancing came
and he
in.
stupidly agreed to invest in me
Yeah.
in a real estate consulting company.
Yeah.
And it was that, or
Were you nervous when you approached him?
no, because I was just tap dancing. How could he say no? Plus, I bought him a few beers beforehand.
No, that's what I mean.
Listen
Like you were going to that conversation with an intention, so you weren't nervous,
Oh,
like
yeah.
because you were attached to
No,
wanting to
because
live in Indonesia, right?
we were both talking about what we're going to do with that company.
Yeah.
Right, we've got a company set up in Indonesia, and all the work it took to get it set up. Nothing's easy to do here.
Yeah.
We'd gone through the process. We got it set up. We were established here. What are we going to do? And I suggested.
So he was still flirting with the idea of like doing something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I told him about my girlfriend at the time's real estate business, what we'd already set up for her, how that was going, and I saw a opportunity.
Does this girl start with the letter N?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw an opportunity. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. When I moved here and rented a villa,
Yeah.
and
Was it actually? I never saw it. Was it a nice villa like Mackin?
it was
Like it's
old style, but 4-bedroom.
Yeah, but you can get some shitty like.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Other people didn't love it.
Right.
Funnily enough, when we were going around looking,
But you live there by yourself.
Wait.
Okay.
When we were going around looking at villas,
Yeah.
there were much better villas, better quality I saw.
Yeah.
But this one was open living, outdoor style, and had the kitchen was effectively a bar.
Right.
So I was
what was it? What was it a month?
It was $20,000 US for 6 months.
So what does that work out to be?
I don't know. It was paid 6 months
so
up front.
$2 grand. So like what? 25 million rupiah. 25 million rupiah a month. Oh yeah.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
It was very expensive.
Yeah.
But once again, it was in the heart of Seminyak, and I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Right. Where in Seminyak was it?
Behind Ultimo restaurant.
Behind
Down that
it.
gang.
You know, it's funny that you say that. We were at dinner at Ultimo. I think it must have been one of the first times I met you. Or, we went for dinner together, and you're like,
Weirwick's birthday, Stefan's birthday.
I can't remember.
Right.
And I was like, man, I need to rent a scooter. You're like, yeah, just go to the place in the gang behind. I'm like, the what? You're like,
my
the
boys.
gang.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what the fuck's a gang? Is that unique to like Indonesia?
I believe so. It's a laneway or a small street.
Yeah, but that terminology of gang.
Yeah, it's a gang.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the I'm used to like, it's an alleyway, mate.
So I call those boys the mini mart boys because they're next to the mini mart.
Right.
And I used to always walk out from my villa and past them to get to the main street.
Yeah.
And for the first 3 months, they would offer me Xanax, Valium, Viagra.
Yeah.
Xanax, Valium, Viagra. I'm like, fuck, have I got some stress things on my head? What's going on?
Yeah.
But then I got to know them.
Yeah.
And I rented a bike from them too. And they became like, I saw them every day. So if friends come over and wanted a bike, I send them that way.
If they want Valium.
Valium, yeah. If you want some Viagra, go see those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I knew them.
Mm.
But yeah, Seminyak, $20,000 for 6 months, very expensive.
Yeah.
But then again, you're paying for the location.
But were you living by yourself is what I mean.
Well,
yeah, right.
for the first 2 months before ex-girlfriend moved.
And because you come from the Gold Coast, you must have loved going to the beach. Like that's probably your biggest draw card for Bali, would it?
Yeah, it was exactly the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because I, as you know, I love the beach.
Yeah.
Love being outdoors, and Jakarta just doesn't have that. In Jakarta, it's business, shopping, or nightlife, basically. And that gets a hold of you. I put on, by the way, backtracking, I put on 14 kgs in the first year living in Jakarta.
Oh, really?
Living in a hotel bar every night, buffet behind the bar every night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And there's nothing to do. So you end up sitting there drinking, listening to live music, eating.
What do you mean, bro? I lost 10 kilo living in Jakarta.
Why? Because you're shitting yourself the whole time.
No, I joined again, it became part of I was like doing a bit of vlogging back then actually. Part of my day was like go to Starbucks, do LinkedIn outreach. Right. But my afternoon was always like 2 hours of Muay Thai outside.
I was not doing that.
I was like sweating my ring out, man. And then I was eating pretty clean. Mike was eating pretty clean at the time.
Well, I got there in November 2015. By Christmas 2016, I arrived at 86 kgs. And when I went home for Christmas, I was 103 kgs.
Wow.
So, dude, that's more than 14, it's 17.
It's a good effort.
It's a very good effort. But it snapped me into getting healthy again.
Yeah, right.
That's when I started fasting, exercising every day, or most days, going to the gym, simple things like jump rope at home, and stop drinking. And got back down to, I think, 91, 92. Just by doing that, and by doing lots of fasts. I would do back-to-back fasting. Maybe do 48 hours. I would weigh myself. I'd eat something like steak and eggs, no carbs at all. And the next morning, I would still weigh less than before I ate that steak and eggs.
Yeah, right.
So the body was just stripping fat. But also, I don't know about the whole fat burning thing. I was eating way less calories. By
it's also like carbs though, right?
Yeah, well, carbs help you shed water weight.
By not eating carbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it works because you're consuming no calories.
Well, that's the whole typical like calories in, calories out to it. Yes, of course.
And fasting is an easy way to get that.
Yeah. How do we end up back on health again?
I don't know.
You must have a value
Tangents.
on it. So you started McRobin. So you
I went to Byron Bay.
Yeah.
Convinced Glenn it was a good idea.
Yeah.
So the foreign-owned company we had running the IT company.
Yeah.
We spoke to a few lawyers and were able to change the business activity of that from IT to real estate.
Yeah. Because to start a business in Indonesia, let alone Bali, it's a PMA, right?
Foreign-owned company.
So what's the difference between a PMA and a PTMA?
Just that. It's a PT or a PT PMA. A PT is what they call a PT local.
Oh, right. So PMA is international.
The two shareholders are local people.
But to start a PMA, you've got to spend a certain amount of money to set up, right?
There's a capital injection required, which you can do through cash injections or buying property for the business.
Right.
An office could be part of that capital injection.
Right.
It does take time.
But it's a bit of money, right?
It's a bit of money. It's not cheap, and it's different depending on the business activity you sign up to do.
Yeah.
Long story short, we transitioned that company from IT over to real estate. Yeah. And we transferred the name of my ex-girlfriend's real estate company, which was Mac Robin. The name comes from my grandparents, whose name was Mac and Robin. Robin's still alive, Mac's passed away. But I named it after them because they pretty much raised me for a big part of my life.
Oh, I never knew that.
And it was a bit of a tribute to them.
Oh, there you go.
It was actually my ex-girlfriend's idea, the name, but I loved it, so we rolled with it.
Nice.
Mac Robin Property.
Cool.
Everyone does ask me that question because it's not my name.
Yeah.
So
I didn't. What an arsehole I must be.
That's where it came from.
Kiwis don't care
about
Aussies.
Sounds a bit Scottish. Mac Robin.
Mac Robin,
Mac Robin Property.
Yeah. So, because of all things.
Before the thing cuts out, McRobin Property is a real estate consulting company.
Wait. No.
www.macrobin.property.com.
So of all businesses, I mean, it's almost like, it's not that you didn't have a choice. It was just the natural segue to kind of go into property. But of all things, like, property is not easy, right? Like, when I think property or real estate, like, whether you're a broker or you own a real estate company, I just think like hustle. You got to love social. Well, I say you got to love socializing because it's built through network, right? Unless you got fantastic marketing skills like myself.
God,
yeah, we're going to
get started. Next episode.
Yeah. So I mean, you've had wins, you've had like struggles, obviously, but ultimately, to this day, we don't really talk about it. But like, are you enjoying it?
Yeah. So I didn't actually choose property to get into.
Yeah.
I fell into it because my girlfriend at the time was doing property.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I want to stay here, and I could see just from what she was doing and other agents were doing, how it was handled here. There was, if you're a foreign investor coming here to invest in Bali property, there's a lot of people leading you down a dark path.
Yeah.
I learnt that the quick way, fastly I should say, and I figured that the market was missing someone who, if you're a foreign investor coming here, you could come and get some education on where to invest, how to invest, what works, what doesn't work. And someone to guide them from the start all the way through to here's the keys, here's the management company if you need it, from start to finish. Not like hunting commissions, not telling you what you want to hear to get